The original Watch Dogs is genuinely one of the best games I have ever played.
Oh, nice.
Love you, Aiden.
Thank you.
And although its graphically misleading reveal trailer did not inspire much in the way of confidence, pretty much everyone I've ever spoken to about the game absolutely loved it. From its gritty story of seeing through the eyes of Aiden Pierce as you take down Chicago's criminal underworld, to the staggering variety of side content available serving to reinforce Aiden's motives as a vigilante, Watch Dogs is filled to the brim with fun, meaningful activities all over the city. With fixer contracts, burner phones, gang hideouts, QR codes, weapons caches, criminal convoys, missing persons investigations, and an innovative online invasion system to name but just a few, Watch Dogs already has so much to offer. But did you know that the game was meant to have even more content? See, not only were the graphics scaled back, several features were too, but thanks to renowned modder The Silver, many of these missing mechanics have since been restored, along with a wealth of additional content that expands and enhances Watch Dogs in practically every way. Although this mod has been covered before, countless improvements have been made since its initial release. With Living City, Watch Dogs in 2024 is one of the most fun, entertaining action-adventure games available today. And in this video, we're going to discuss how Living City hacks its way through the game's code to provide us with Watch Dogs 2.0.
After Rose died, they created that. Now, I don't know the hows and whys of it, but that code is dangerous.
More akin to an official expansion, Living City adds a DLC side serving of content that gradually integrates itself as you progress through the story, implementing new gameplay mechanics, missions, gadgets, random encounters, hideouts, side activities, and that is only scratching the surface. Living City blurs the line between the game's action-packed linear narrative but often uneventful open world, with the consequences of playing as the vigilante now reflected between missions to provide a consistent element of surprise during moment-to-moment gameplay.
Take one of my rifles. You're gonna need it.
Enemy factions can now be encountered throughout Chicago, patrolling their respective territories, tailing you from a distance, and may even attempt to steal your data.
Great. Got a fixer on my tail.
Gangs such as the Black Viceroys are seen driving around their neighbourhoods, guarding restricted areas, and will retaliate against you if you threaten them or step on their turf.
This is our turf. Get the fuck out of here.
Beyond gangs, you have fixers, lone opportunists hiding in plain sight and waiting to strike when you least expect it.
Damn. Fixer tailing me.
Unlike gangs, fixers can be encountered anywhere, so you'll always want to be looking over your shoulder. And lastly, there are now repercussions for picking people's pockets. If you hack too many civilians, rival hackers will now invade you.
Son of a bitch.
These invasions behave much like they do in multiplayer, allowing this Dark Souls-esque mechanic to be experienced more frequently without needing another player to join your game. With danger now around every corner, the police no longer wait passively until their search disks pick up your signal before hunting you down. Instead, the scan mechanic has been replaced with an actual police response, and the law now realistically searches your last known location rather than immediately surrounding your exact position.
Clear. Gonna move on.
When you prove to be a real menace to society by hacking and harming your way to heat level 5, the law starts using CTOS hacks against you. They'll lift bollards, close gates, and raise bridges in an attempt to stop you, and overriding any hacks you attempt to perform.
Vigilante Aiden Pierce has struck again.
This new reactive world makes role-playing as a wanted vigilante a lot more unpredictable and immersive, revitalising the streets of Chicago with a constant feeling of uncertainty not present in the vanilla game. Whilst Watch Dogs does already have random events such as stores being robbed, car accidents, and fire engines speeding past, these are set to happen so infrequently that certain events may never occur during an entire playthrough. Unexpected encounters play a large part in making the world feel like a living, breathing place, and as its name implies, Living City is well aware of this, increasing the likelihood of these happening, but also adding a plethora of new events for you to stumble upon. Every so often you'll witness dangerous drivers, gangsters getting into gunfights, street racers, police chasers, and you're even able to assist the police in these events without getting a wanted level. Bear in mind, none of what I said up to this point has been part of a mission. This all naturally occurs, letting you experience the type of gameplay typically reserved for missions such as gang shootouts anywhere in the open world. On top of random events, brand new objective-based events pop up from time to time, either as a moving mission marker or triggered by hacking specific pedestrians, and are able to be engaged with or ignored entirely. You can challenge rival racers to a duel, rescue convicts from police convoys, infiltrate signal-jammed enemy bases, and so much more. Existing side missions have been expanded too. There are new gang hideouts, criminal convoys, human traffic investigations, as well as a replayable raid that rewards you with high-end weapons you've yet to obtain.
Your enemies could create fake contracts to ambush you.
I'll be ready for them.
Do beware that when you take on a contract, hackers will occasionally breach the communication network and a bounty will be placed on your head.
We got a new target that needs to get hit.
The faction who run that district will then come to claim that bounty, but if you survive the ambush, you'll be compensated as way of an apology.
Your attackers underestimated you. A fatal mistake.
Be warned that once you get so far through the story, Aiden's infamy begins to rise, allowing ambushes to occur anywhere in the open world.
Oh, fuck.
You'll be notified of an open contract out for Aiden Pierce, and then you'll have just a few seconds to prepare yourself before a convoy of armed mercenaries arrive to take you out. You have the choice to run, hide or fight, encouraging you to utilise every skill in your repertoire to make it out alive. Fortunately, to even the odds, Aiden has a number of new tricks up his sleeve in the form of never before seen gadgets. Starting simple, you can now call the police. Officers will arrive to search the perimeter and engage any perceived threat, allowing you to use them to your advantage by distracting and eliminating your enemies for you as you slip away undetected. If you prefer a more direct approach, you can hire bodyguards wielding assault rifles who are able to follow commands, be dismissed,
Thanks.
enter your vehicle, and will even drive to you if you leave them behind. Bodyguards also wield body cams, enabling you to check for flanking enemies from unseen angles, as well as positioning them to deal with said enemies.
Go, go.
Aiden has unique dialogue depending on the situation, such as calling for help if he's being attacked,
Under fire here. Help me out.
informing his team when a tough enemy has been killed,
Yeah, I got him.
prompting them to either follow him or hold the position,
Get in the car, let's go.
and will even apologise if you run them over.
Sorry.
Aiden's newly appointed personal driver will escort you anywhere you desire for a fee. Upon entering the vehicle, nearby points of interest such as stores, hideouts, missions and CTOS towers will dynamically appear depending on where you are.
Let's go.
Just like in GTA 4, you can prompt your escort to drive faster, and if you prompt them again, you will teleport to your destination.
Go.
You can even do drive-bys out of the window against your pursuers. And if you have a bodyguard, they too will enter the vehicle and fight alongside you. Speaking of vehicles, the multiplayer exclusive Nitro Boost is now able to be crafted and used in single player too, giving any vehicle a sudden boost in speed for several seconds and helping you outrun your enemies. Much like Red Dead Redemption's honor mechanic that affects store prices depending on your deeds, Watch Dogs features a similar reputation mechanic that offers weapon discounts if the public perceives you in a positive light. Living City expands on this mechanic by implementing black market dealers that sell weapons from the trunk of their car, and in exchange for a low reputation they'll offer a discounted price, incentivizing you not to always play as the good guy.
I like your style, so you're gonna get a special discount.
The aptly named Hunter is Aiden's very own remote sniper rifle, capable of being deployed anywhere to kill enemies at the push of a button. The Hunter can be upgraded to improve its range, reload speed, the amount of enemies you can mark before remotely pulling the trigger, and if you invest in the incredibly expensive but effective silencer, the Hunter becomes the only suppressed sniper in the game. The Rest gadget allows you to fast forward time, similar to smoking a cigar in Phantom Pain, and is perfect for infiltrating an enemy base under the veil of darkness. To help you stay undetected, craftable sticky cameras can be thrown and accessed remotely, allowing you to strategize by observing and hacking your enemies from angles never before possible. And strategizing is exactly what you'll want to do now that there are 19 enemy hideouts located throughout the city, ranging from underground tunnels protected by Bloom employees to gang-owned vehicle showrooms, with many being one-time visits during the story, except now they coexist within the open world. Inside these hideouts, now known as red zones, you'll find patrolling security guards or gang members depending on the location, giving you the opportunity to acquire weapons and collectibles originally only obtainable during missions. Once you complete the main story, you can initiate the new street cleaning side mission from within a red zone, in which you have to eliminate every enemy in every red zone, one after the other, before the timer runs out. This minigame turns Watch Dogs into a roguelike, with randomised loadouts and mutators affecting gameplay in numerous ways, such as disabling focus mode, enabling explosive headshots, or restricting you to a single bullet in the chamber. You will be placed on a scoreboard depending on how well you perform, and you will be handsomely rewarded if you manage to overcome this endgame challenge. Hacking civilians also nets you new rewards, such as decrypting a device for multiple system keys, donating money to increase your reputation, reporting criminals to the police, and on exceedingly rare occasions you can hack recent lottery winners for massive amounts of money you'll need to pay the entry fee in order to compete in one of 18 available races. Originally a game mode only playable online, you are now able to enter into both street races and even restored boat races. The difficulty of each race is randomised, and the 18 routes on offer provide unique challenges every time you race. The vehicle class you drive, the number of opponents you face, how skilled they are, along with optional mid-race objectives such as taking down a boss or escaping the police, providing bigger payouts.
Damn, that was one hell of a run, my friend.
But when you finally evade the police and want to escape the public eye, there are over 20 new interiors to explore, some of which are unlockable hideouts for you to rest in, change clothes, as well as several new mechanics we've yet to discuss. Many of these interiors are visited during the story, but some of them are areas you've only ever seen during cutscenes or when accessing cameras, and are unlocked in different ways, either by completing the relevant story mission or as rewards for unlocking the various districts across the map. Living City provides a wealth of new content, but if there's anything you don't like the sound of, many of the mod's mechanics can be tweaked to your preference or even disabled entirely, such as how often you'll be ambushed, whether enemies can use CTOS against you, and one of my favourite new features, limited inventory.
Not a scratch.
As someone who loves challenging games with realistic mechanics, limited inventory encourages you to pick the right tool for the job by restricting you to a single weapon in each slot. Rather than role-playing as a Terminator with an entire armoury in your pocket, you now have to plan ahead and prioritise your loadout depending on the situation. When infiltrating a gang hideout, you'll probably want to bring a silenced weapon, but if you get caught, you might want to drop it for something stronger. This restriction makes your decisions more impactful now that you have to consider a weapon's strengths and weaknesses, and makes the process of investing in high-end gear a lot more rewarding. If you purchase a weapon but don't want to use it there and then, the weapon you previously held will appear on the counter, allowing you to switch back to it. Fortunately, any weapons you leave behind don't have to be purchased over and over again whenever you want to use them. Every safe house now comes stocked with an armoury, allowing you to equip any weapon you've previously picked up or purchased. Black market dealers also have portable armouries if you wish to change your loadout on the fly without having to return to a safe house. Alongside his armoury, Aiden now has access to a workbench and is able to spend money on equipment such as lures, explosives and blackouts, without having to travel to a specific vendor like in the vanilla game. On top of everything we've discussed so far, Living City implements an absolute ton of additional tweaks and improvements to the game. The first being restored relief mapping, a cut feature that adds realistic contours and shading to 2D textures, giving the illusion that they are in fact 3D, and vastly improving the appearance of surfaces such as walls, pavements and shutters, with minimal performance impact. Gone are the days of needing to grind through tedious online challenges to get your hands on the rarest weapons. Every single weapon is now immediately obtainable, but if that wasn't enough, you now have access to the previously console-exclusive MP412 revolver. Bear in mind that with the numerous new ways of making money, the economy has been rebalanced so that stronger weapons carry heftier price tags. When using the game's vast array of armaments, a small but meaningful change to combat is that focus mode no longer tints and blurs the edges of the screen, allowing for less distracting, more satisfying gunplay. Aiden is now a lot more talkative and will react to the situations he finds himself in, such as swearing when crashing his vehicle, successfully escaping his pursuers,
Looks like I'm clear.
and many other scenario-specific lines that help give Aiden more character.
You got a death wish? Don't try me. That's all of them. Back to business.
Another really cool feature is that you can now toggle whether Aiden puts his hands in his pockets when walking and whether he pulls up his mask during stealth and combat. Perfect for custom outfits without your hands clipping through the jacket. There are now considerably more pedestrians and vehicles on the streets, making Chicago a truly bustling place, but be sure to keep your eyes peeled for fixers blending into the crowd. You're now able to remove weapons from your inventory, either by unequipping them in the armoury or dropping them on the ground, which is perfect if you want to challenge yourself with a pistol-only playthrough now that the Beretta 92 FS as seen in the E3 2012 trailer, but sadly never made its way to release, has been restored in all its glory. And when the police catch you with it, they'll no longer shoot on sight after Act 3 anymore, allowing you to cause a blackout during early felony levels moments before being arrested as seen in the E3 walkthrough demo. Thanks to modder Hard Fatsuki for developing the Living City add-ons loader, additional add-ons can be downloaded or made from scratch, essentially expanding the expansion with entirely new game mechanics or even mechanics featured in other games. By default, changing weapons does not slow down time, but fans of GTA and Red Dead Slow-Mo Weapon Wheel can add this feature to Watch Dogs, ideal for switching between hacks before pedestrians have a chance to call the cops. But do you know what would be really helpful? A pay and spray system. Well, now there is one, and by travelling to one of several garages across the map, you can repair and respray your vehicle for a fee. The price per respray depends on the vehicle class, how much damage needs to be repaired, and even reputation plays a part in how much you'll pay. Not only can Aiden have a positive, neutral or negative reputation, each garage does too, and if your public perception aligns you'll receive a discount, otherwise you'll be forced to pay a little extra. Bearing in mind that garages with bad reputation are the only type that allow you to lose your wanted level. Nice. But if you feel like discounts make the game a little bit too forgiving and instead want an extra challenge, you can enable money loss upon death, which removes a percentage of your bank balance every time you're killed. Living City is the way Watch Dogs is meant to be played, seamlessly bridging the gap in and out of missions, making for a cohesive, content-rich experience from start to finish. It lets you take part in Aiden's story on a much deeper level, exacting justice in a city teeming with activities to conquer and enemies to overcome. Not only does it rejuvenate the game with a plethora of creative new features, mechanics and quality of life improvements, cut content originally worked on by Ubisoft, such as ambushes and armories intended for the game, have been remade completely from scratch, fulfilling the developer's intended vision. Living City doesn't just improve Watch Dogs, it completes it, and I cannot recommend it enough. But Living City is only the beginning. Stay tuned for the next episode in which I cover 15 of the best Watch Dogs mods that introduce terrifying new enemy factions, add more complexity to hacking, improve the game's graphics, textures and lighting, modernise the dated death animations, give more freedom to takedowns, and so much more. While vanilla Watch Dogs is great, modded Watch Dogs is just mwah, and I can't wait to show you more. I'm Tom with Game Cartel, and I will see you in the next video.